Hey, it's another episode of This Week's Comics with your guy, Hartley Holmberg here. I'm right at the gates. Let's talk about Checkmate. I really enjoyed the first run of this. Well, I guess I shouldn't say the first run of this. I really enjoyed the story that led up to this event, Leviathan. I know it wasn't for everybody because it was mired in DC history. But in a nutshell, Checkmate follows up from where the chips landed during that storyline where all of the main DC secret organizations and information gathering organizations were all completely dismantled and screwed up by Leviathan. So out from the ashes come the new Checkmate, and here you go. You're looking at him. You got Green Arrow, The Question, Lois Lane, this King fella with the blonde hair there, Steve Trevor, Manhunter, and Director Bones. I can't wait to read this. I'm really looking forward to it. I love Bendis and Maleev. And, of course, the lingering overshadow of Superman. I loved what he did with the Mark Shaw, the 80s Manhunter, turning him into, spoiler alert, if you haven't read Event Leviathan, spoiler alert, the bad guy. So, yeah, I can't wait to see where this is going. I'm really enjoying how DC is using a lot of these, or not using, how DC is creating a lot of miniseries right now instead of just a world of ongoings. Next up, we got Batman Superman. I am adoring the hell out of this series. It's a lot of fun, super, super creative. Unfortunately, Ivan Rice doesn't do the art on the inside, not extra, unfortunately. They just announced that the series is being canceled with issue number 23. I'm extremely disappointed, but hey, if sales aren't good, sales aren't good. But what can I say, man? This is a great book. I really recommend everybody who loves Superman and Batman go check this out. It's creative as hell. It's incredibly entertaining, and I love it. Next up, we got the new DC book, Infinite Frontier, that I can't wait to crack open. Yet another limited series, 1 through 6, a 6-issue limited series. This follows up all of the sort of hanging threads from Dark Knight Death Metal. I can't wait to get into this. What's the state of the DC universe? There's basically a little plot going on, all about something going on with Darkseid. In the end of the Infinite Frontier number 0 special, or maybe it didn't have a number 0 to it, but the Infinite Frontier special, we find out that Darkseid has been restored to his full might, his full pre-crisis might. That's to say, he's the same level of power that he was during the Legion of Superheroes Darkness War, where you could wipe out a whole planet like Daxamite and control a planet full of Supermen. The Darkseid that could backhand Superman and take him right the hell out versus the version of Darkseid that we've gotten more used to, where Superman can beat him up. Obviously, you got your main player there right in the front, the Calvin Ellis Superman, the President Superman version, which I love. You got Roy Harper, what's going on with him? We got Barry Allen, Chase from the DEO, Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, and his kids, Jade and Obsidian. I'm really, really excited for this issue. I've seen Captain Carey in it, so I can't wait. Next up, we got Justice League, another comic I'm really enjoying by Brian Michael Bendis right now. I think he's nailing Justice League. He's got a great approach. Continuing on the story of Naomi through Justice League is perfect, because what better players than the scale of the Justice League to deal with the scale that Naomi's world deals with, where everybody's powerful as hell. And then, of course, the backup tale, the Justice League Dark stuff that's been just great about the Justice League Dark putting themselves back together. I scanned through it and I saw Man-Bat's back, so I'm really excited about that. And then this week, DC decided to dump all their Superman books in 1 week. So we got Action Comics here. This is the Superman book that's a little bit more focused on Superman just being a superhero versus John being sort of the main character in the book, because John, as we know, is going to get his own Superman title soon, Superman Son of Kal-El, that I can't wait for, even though I find it really strange that they're graduating John that fast. Having said that, this title has been great. The art's been fantastic. I can't wait to see what's going on with Superman and Aquaman teaming up. I think it should be great. And then what I just alluded to, the Superman title that's a little bit more focused on John. And frankly, the new series being launched by Tom Taylor, I can't wait. I mean, Tom Taylor's amazing. He does such a great job with legacy titles, as he showed the whole world when X-23 graduated to Wolverine under his very skillful watch. So I can't wait for it. This issue, from what I gathered, is one of those setups where we're getting to see John take on the mantle of Superman and inspire his father and show us why he deserves to be the next Superman. Next up, Teen Titans Academy. This book has been an absolute blast. A really great reinvention of Teen Titans. The idea that the Titans, the senior Titans, now serve as mentors to the young heroes of the DC Universe, and they literally have an academy. It was a great idea. It's been a great read. I can't wait to read this. And who the hell is Red X? The mystery is awesome. Next up, we got Wonder Woman. Anybody who watches these knows that I'm really enjoying this book, and I can't stand those young adventures of adventures of young Diana. They really suck. Man, I hope those end, because I'm on the verge of dropping the book just because of how much I can't stand those backups. Spending an extra $1 an issue just for backups I hate is just bugging me. And the other, you got books like this. This book that has the Tales of Metropolis, those backups are great. The backups in this with Midnighter are fantastic. So come on, DC. You can do better than these horrible backups, because the main title is really good. I'm really enjoying it. Wonder Woman dealing with sort of being lost in the multiverse and all these mysteries about what's going on with her right now. It's a lot of fun. I'm digging this little chipmunk character too. He's squirrel. He's a squirrel. No offense, chipmunks. Next up, we got the Blue Flame, a public domain character that Vault Comics has put into their book with a completely different look. I mean, the Blue Flame was a one-shot character back in the day anyways. It was nothing but just really a blue version of the original Human Torch. They're going down a really interesting road with this one. He's sort of a more, his backstory is that he's more of a sort of urban B-grade hero who hangs out with a bunch of guys that just rent out rooms and fight local crime. But the modern day story, he's this sort of cosmic hero, gets tied up in some alien stuff. So I really enjoyed the first issue. I expect to enjoy the second issue as well. If you're at all into the public domain characters or just superheroes at all, I really recommend this. Vault nailed the first issue, and the second issue flicking through looked also equally great. And then Straggler from last week that I forgot to pick up. Superman Red and Blue, an anthology series by DC that I'm really enjoying. This is probably going to be one of the last things we see from John Romita Jr. from DC as he's moving over back to Marvel. And it's nice to see him do something good because, frankly, a lot of the art that he produced through DC when Klaus Janson was inking was just absolutely horrible. But Janson inked this, and it doesn't suck. So I don't know what was up with that run during Superman where the Janson inks just seemed to destroy his art. And then we got some trades. The Future State, the next Batman. This stuff was really fun. And these volumes, or the first volume from the Future State is a huge, huge volume that collects a lot of stuff. And, I mean, from those solicits, it doesn't look like a lot. But each issue of Future State, the next Batman, I think there were like $7.99 issues with like 48 pages or something. So this is actually a really great deal for such a big, huge volume. And Future State was a lot of fun. I really, really recommend it to anybody who is sort of holding out. You get a big chunk, pretty much everything you're going to need to know about the future state of Batman, which also ties into a lot of what they're doing with the character now. So check it out. And then we got The King in Black, Return of the Valkyries. What's going on with Jane Foster and the Valkyries? One thing I'm finding really strange right now, and this sort of ties into the book I just finished, Spider-Woman, they're doing all this King in Black stuff before they release the King in Black collection, which comes out next week. Marvel's been really weird about the order in which they print stuff. Those of you that know me know that I've been bitching and moaning about how the Dawn of X titles, the books that collect all the X-Men stuff, took them forever to catch up to X of Swords. I had to wait like 2 months to read that. I still haven't read it yet. I'll be doing an unwrapping of that soon enough because they just finally caught up with the Dawn of X stuff. Next up, we got Silk. I can't wait to read this. This is a much bigger volume than I expected it to be, Volume 2. Volume 1, I don't recall being this big. Well, maybe it was. Actually, it did collect 2 series from Silk. There's the how much it's gotten it, what it contains, and there's the price. Oh, no, the price. I didn't need to spend that. $43.99 Canadian, $34.99 US, and it's a relatively thick volume. This actually probably has just about as much story as the Batman in it because Marvel uses thinner paper than DC does. So if you compare them side by side, Silk is far less thick than the DC title, but DC uses much thicker paper, so that's not a fair comparison size-wise. And then I got some sale stuff. Super Dinosaur Volume 2 and 3. There was a little diamond sale recently, and I love Super Dinosaur #1, so I can't wait to get into this. They're Not Like Us, a really fun comic that was sort of like a indie kind of X-Men-ish comic book. They're not really superheroes in this world, but they are people with powers, and they are, differentiated by from the rest of humanity by the fact that they have powers. Written by Eric Stevenson, a writer who doesn't get enough credit. And I love the first volume. I never got around to getting the second one because it took forever for it to come out. So I'm really glad to finally read this. And then, I got a huge love for the Thunder Agents. Got this volume 1, right? Volume 1? Yeah. Anyways, I got Thunder Agents volume 1 and 2 from IDW. This is they are public domain characters now, created by Wally Wood. Thunder Agents was one of the original indie superhero books that really made unique choices with their characters that weren't the kind of choices that were being made with superheroes back in the day. Their lead sort of Superman-esque character, Dynamo, he gets his powers from his belt, I think it's just called his Dynamo belt, that gives him powers for an hour, I believe, where he becomes super strong and invulnerable. No Man is a guy who died and transferred his consciousness into an android body, and he has a whole series of android bodies. When they're destroyed, he can just shuffle off to another android. They're androids, so they're superhuman and a little bit more durable than a human being. I say a little bit more because they get fucked up a lot and destroyed. And then he's got this cloak of invisibility. Lightning is their speedster, but the suit that gives him his speed also, when he uses it, he ages appropriately, so it's slowly killing him the more he uses it. And then Mento, they're a psychic character from the book. Now, I don't know that the suit has any negative effects on him. Maybe it does that I'm not aware of. But in the original Thunder Agent series, he died, which was one of the first superhero deaths in comics. So there's only 2 volumes of these from IDW. I bought a bunch of the singles, but I never got the full run. So I just decided, hey, they're still available on Diamond. Why not get it? And then next up, Airboy. Man, this series was a blast. It's not really about Airboy. It's about James Robinson and the artist whose first name I'm drawing a blank on, Hinkle. And this is the story all about James Robinson right there, just taking the piss out of himself. I guess he went through a big phase of drinking a lot and doing a lot of drugs. And this is just James Robinson saying, yeah, I was a bit of an a-hole for a while, and this is me taking the piss out of myself. This whole story is about Robinson trying to convince Hinkle to draw this Airboy comic through Image, and Airboy ends up in the real world while these two were just tripping balls on drugs. It was a real great series. It was offered up on sale, so go check out your local comic store and see if they got a copy. It's a real blast. And then a little shout out. I recently found on sale this bad boy, the Umbrella Academy from Book Outlet. Volume 2. This thing's beautiful. I got this thing really cheap, and I wasn't going to buy any of these the library versions because they're fairly expensive. It's $40, $53.99 Canadian. For the trade paperbacks are just $20. But man, this thing's absolutely beautiful. It's got lots of back pages stuff. The binding's beautiful. The cover feels great. So I might just replace my Umbrella Academy trades now with these because this is absolutely beautiful. And I might actually even do a deeper review of these at some point. But it is nice, beautiful binding. It lays flat. As I'll show you here, it lays nice and beautifully flat. Get your little bookmarker there. It's a very nice book. Beautiful binding. I was very happy with that. And then another little shout out to this that I also got super cheap. The Simpsons Futurama Crossover Crisis. This is this really cool hardcover with a neat little slipcase that, get a load of this. And this is sometimes really hard to do with one hand. See, it's got a little cut up bit there. But what I was really blown away with this, it's not just a cool hardcover, but it's also got this really neat little feature in the back that I found recently in an Archie book as well, where they literally include a first volume reprint copy of the first issue of is it the first issue of The Simpsons? Yeah, it's the first issue of The Simpsons comic, which is now defunct. But this cool little thing in the back here, yeah, how cool is that, right? So there you have it, this week's comics. Hope you enjoyed watching. As always, stay safe out there and see you next time.